It's 9 o'clock. It's Saturday morning. It's the Monster Magic Saturday show. Let's do this.
Wake up, it's a beautiful morning. Feel the sun shining for your eyes.
Yay! Hello and good morning. Hope you're all well. This is the first of Monster Magic Saturday morning shows, and I really hope they develop into something a little bit special. I've got no idea where they're going to go at the moment, but what I plan to do today is just talk a little bit about the wonders of Monster Magic and how much fun I've been having over the last few months having opened the Monster Magic shop, and talk about some products that have come in that I haven't had a chance to review properly. And these aren't going to be the latest and greatest. Well, some are quite new, to be fair, some are new, but things that I'm about to review that I've got here, so I know a little bit about them, and just to say hello to all of the Monster Magic community. Yes. So what shall we talk about first? So the first thing I want to talk about is Visions by Matthew Wright. Visions came out moons ago, even before I was at Prop Dog, long before I opened Monster Magic, and I didn't buy it back then, and I'm not sure why. I think I might have had, I don't know, I must have some doubts about it, and now I've seen Matthew perform it, I've watched the tutorial, and I'm learning and practicing it now so I can go out and really give it some airtime in the real world, as if there's another one, and to give a good full review of it. But this is a Visions. It comes packaged like this, no expense spared there by Matthew, which is absolutely fine by me. I think the boxes and everything else, they are nice and everything great, but I'd rather not pay for one, and I'd rather just get the best trick possible for the best price possible. One problem with this, which is why I do mention it, is there is something in here that can get a little bit bashed about. So I'm going to be shrink wrapping these, maybe making them a little bit sturdier before sending them out, because I'm worried that might get damaged. But it comes with several. Oh, I'll show you. So the first, the easiest, probably the most common routine you're going to be doing with Visions, or the Visions deck, as it were, is a drawing prediction, I suppose is what you'd call it. You ask someone or two people to think of a picture, a simple picture that perhaps a child might draw, and they say boat. You then go, boat, it's interesting, boat. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of boat. You then get out a deck of cards. You ask them to cut the deck of cards, and the card that they've cut at, say it's the two of spades, you go, that's great, because that's my favourite card, the two of spades. And the reason the two of spades is my favourite card is because I always keep it in my pocket, and you pull out the two of spades from your pocket, and then you say, and you were thinking of a boat, and the reason the two of spades is my favourite card is because on the back of it is a boat. Now that's a very long-winded explanation of what the effect is, but you can see the trailer, and hopefully you'll be able to see me performing it too at some point soon in the review. But it is really, really good. I really like it. I like the idea, the play with the people, the idea of what picture they might draw, and I think it seems incredibly impossible. I'm still amazed at this. Incredibly impossible that you can have essentially predict within, as Matthew says, a 98% chance, pretty much, probably more than that. So very, very close to 100% that you will have the picture that they are thinking of on the back of a card. And Matthew demonstrates this. He has the results of empirical data proving that he does almost 100% of the time have an exact match for whatever item or whatever picture they've suggested. And that's just amazing. And I find that amazing. So I think even to pull out a card that has a picture that they've thought of on it is absolutely great. You have got the option for one of the rude ones. The rude option, not surprisingly, depending on where you're working, does come up quite a lot. And it's great. It's great. It's easy. It's easy to do. But there is a slight of it that some people might fear. So it's not self-working. put it that way, it's not self-working. There is a little bit of sleight of hand, but nothing too knuckle-busting, in my opinion. And he does a great job of teaching it. Like I say, goes through all the empirical data. There is also an out, should that 1 in 100 person crop up, you have got an out for it, which helps and does weaken the effect slightly, but not a lot. And I think it's a surprisingly powerful trick. I think I'm going to get some great reactions with this when I go out and perform it. The tutorial is very thorough. He teaches all of the sleights very thoroughly. All of the sleights, I think there's only one. And he also supplies very ones that can come out of an envelope as well. You can have a sealed envelope on the table the whole time if you want, instead if you don't want it coming out of your pocket. So a great little thing by Matthew Wright that I certainly overlooked many moons ago, and I'm sure a lot of people did. So I recommend giving it a go. That's Visions by Matthew Wright. Up next is, I'm going to try and say his name, but Manoj Kausal's Decipher. This really intrigued me, actually. I had to watch the trailer several times before I thought, I see. And this is basically a peak envelope. You get 3 peak envelopes in here, and they look very good. They are very good. And it's a very straightforward, motivated peak. So that's what the envelopes look like. They're very sturdy. You can't get them wet, but well, they'll dry out. They'll just have a little bit of a stain on them. You can't get them wet. But yeah, it's a super looking envelope, super clean looking, and it gives you a peak. And I really like. I think this is great too. I don't really have a use for getting a peak. Maybe I might try and combine it with Visions, perhaps. But I'll try and think of a reason. Maybe I'll do a quick drawing duplication thing to give this a trial run. But it's very simple. It's obviously it's very similar to what you'd expect in a switching envelope like that, but with a little clever addition, which seems very simple now. But it's a great idea. The peak's motivated and sort of done on the offbeat. And he talks about that, actually, does Manoj. He does say, don't look now. You're ignoring the envelope. It's not important at this, and then goes, look, and then you just close the envelope and you've got your peak. It is for business cards rather than playing cards, I would say. And they can pretty much write across the whole business card. It doesn't have to be that accurate. And there is a slight, I suppose there's a slight lighting issue with all peak cards. I mean, you can't peak anything in the dark. But obviously because you're peeking down inside an envelope, essentially, you need some fairly decent lighting conditions. Not bright light, just average lighting. Poor lighting conditions, I would say, you probably might struggle. And yeah, as long as I'd suggest with any peak having them write with a black pen on a white business card. And it's a nice little thing. I don't know how much it is. I think it's about £25. You get 3 of these envelopes, and it's simple and it's just 3 envelopes, but £25, that's good value in my book. I know some people might go, you could just make them yourself. And yes, you could, but you'd have to buy the paper, you'd have to cut it all out, you have to stick it all together, you'd have to make them as well as this. And really, unless you don't value your time and effort at all, £25 is going to be cheaper than you making them yourself. So certainly, if you pay yourself minimum wage, you won't be able to make them as cheaply as you can buy them. That is Decipher by Manoj Kaushal. I'm sorry, Manoj, if I can't pronounce your name correctly, but I'm sorry. Anyway, right. So, and now we have, God dear, it is actually genuinely quite early in the morning. And here comes the next one. It's Her Card, His Card by Cody Fisher. Again, this is another one that I overlooked, but I've got a lot of penguin stuff in. I do like a lot of the stuff that Penguin Magic put out. They have had a couple of misses with things like Diabolical, which is a very well named trick. But his card, her card, is Cody Fisher's play on the Chicago Opener Red Hot Mama, the Owl Leech / Jim Ryan trick. Back from, I think, 1977. I think they both published that, and that is one of my favourite tricks. I have to say, I perform it a lot. I think the Chicago Opener is involves two people, which I really like. You can do it across a table with the second person, the card being different, then the card transforming into a second card. It's a powerful, powerful trick, beautiful trick, an easy to do trick. So I was wary of this, and I don't really feel Red Hot Mama, Chicago Opener, or the hot card trick, whatever Al Leach called it, is brilliant. It is perfect. It is a well-designed, well thought through, beautiful piece of card magic that anyone can do. Does it need a kicker? It doesn't. Do I like the fact that it's got a kicker by Cody Fisher? Yeah, I do. I didn't think I would. One thing that worried me was it's a gimmick to carry around in my deck other than just a different backed card. And I was worried that the gimmick there's an alignment with the gimmick. I was wondering whether in the course of performing the trick casually, I won't say carelessly, but without concern, without overly gripping the deck, whether or not the gimmick might miss the line and so on. And certainly during my practicing, it hasn't. Until I've given it some flight time, I can't really tell you whether or not it's worth having this extra kicker. But I do quite like the idea of it, because it is just, it's another smack between the eyes, and I guess you're getting more magic for the same effort. And it isn't very expensive. I can't remember how much it is. I think it's under £20. And yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about the gimmick. The gimmick's well made, probably much what you'd expect it to be from the tutorial. Cody teaches the whole routine nicely. So yeah, Cody Fisher, his card, her card. It's a kick. It does add an extra punch to Chicago Opener. I don't think Chicago Opener needs it, but an extra punch is an extra punch, isn't it? So yeah, there you go. Boop, boop, boop. And what's next? Oh, what's next? I'll tell you what we're going to do next. This is one of those things that I was going to put off getting in because it's quite bulky and I haven't got a lot of storage space for Monster Magic. But I have got the TCC luxury leather cases in. They come in 3 colours: the black, the dark brown, and this one's heavy because it's actually my one, the camel. And I thought this camel was going to get bashed up. It wasn't. I was going to go for the dark brown originally, but I actually thought the dark brown looked a little bit more like poo than the camel. So I went with the camel, and I thought it was going to get bashed up more, and it hasn't at all. It's really, really survived well. And the great thing about these is you can cram quite a lot in. This isn't really crammed in. This isn't loaded for a gig or anything. This is now just sort of a little bit of storage at the moment. But as you can see, you get plenty of cards in there. Paraphernalia. Rubber bands. Everything fits just fine. And these you can move and take out, and so you can adjust it to fit whatever you like. And it's quite nice. So this is the size. It's quite nice. I'll probably do a good full review of these. So yeah, I mean, it's taking quite a lot of weight there. So you can see there is some stress there, but it's standing up to it. Seems very well stitched and attached here. So very comfy to hold. And that's pretty much all of my close-up gear in there, really. I'm trying to think if I ever need anything else. I've got another bag in the car, just in case they want a parlour show or something happens. and they decide they want something a little bit bigger or something a little bit different or something special. But generally speaking, this would be almost all I take to the gig. Might have something else in my pocket, possibly, but yeah, they're great little bags. They're 40 quid there or thereabouts. The leather, this one, you know, I haven't sort of really looked after it, and it survived nicely. I'm kind of hoping it'll get a nice patina on it, but yeah, you know, perhaps not the most, it's not Louis Vuitton, is it? But you know, I prefer it to one of those flight cases or anything like that look more, I don't know, like I mean, very functional, but not the, you know, not really what I want to be carrying when I'm wearing a suit. And yeah, they are tough, so it's got big side edges. The bottom is hard, it's only the top that's a little bit soft. So perhaps put it on top of stuff rather than on the bottom. But yeah, they're great. So that's what the camel looks like. Ooh. That is the dark brown and the classic black. Black for all occasions, of course. And what else do we got? What else have we got? We've got did I ever mess up? This is Hawaiian Punch by John Bannon. Now, it's a good trick. It's a really good trick based on a very old principle. If you're basically, you have some coins and you drop them on the table, or the spectator drops them on the table. You eliminate all of the ones that are heads up, and until you've got one coin left, and that coin provides a prediction. In this case, it provides the prediction to a Hawaiian postcard and the date of 2008. And that is because it uses a particular American coin as the force. So basically you force the coin, which is very easy. It's completely self-working, and it's a trick that I did many, I mean, when I was first getting into magic, one of the first coins you get, or you probably buy, you know, one of the cheapest gimmicked coins out there, that does enable you to do this trick. So I used to do it not with a postcard, not with Hawaii, because I'm not in America. And so I saw John Bannon was bringing this out, and I got it in for Monster Magic, and it didn't occur to me that people wouldn't have, or would feel it a bit odd that they've picked from, you know, the possibility of a 10p, a pound coin, £2 coin, and a 50p. They've managed to pick this strange American coin. So to rectify that, and because I do think it's a great trick, it's definitely worth owning and worth putting in your repertoire, really. The freedom of the choice is what I like about this trick. They are literally just dropping coins on a table, and they're eliminating themselves, any coin that's head up. It does feel very, very random. And it looks very random for everyone else. So yeah, so it's a great trick. It's easy to do, and the problem is, of course, the American coins. So what I have done is I'm providing a little bag here of some random coins from random places in the world. So when it ends up with a prediction of Hawaii, it's as if that was the way you were on holiday and you've kept the coin from that country. And not only that, because the coin you get in here is obviously gimmicked and you'll be hard pushed to find another one, I will provide you with a genuine matching coin to the gimmick here, so you can switch them out to end perfectly clean if you like. That is Hawaiian Punch. It is $25.99, and I'm throwing these in for free because otherwise you won't be able to do the trick, or you could do the trick but you'd have a very convoluted explanation as to what's going on. I do think the trick's great, which is why I've bothered, to be honest. I do think it's one of those things, certainly if you want to do something other than card magic and something that really gets people involved, you know, they can even pass the coins around the table and eliminate them as they go, and eliminate them as they go around the table. So for me, $25.99, you'll get all this, only from Monster. But yeah, there you go. That's Hawaiian Punch by John Bannon. Yeah, so what I'd like to say now is I'd like to say thank you to to everyone who's shopped with Monster so far. And I say that because recently I've had, over the last few weeks, 3 or 4 people have very kindly emailed in to say that their items have arrived the next day with the free shipping, and they think the service is amazing. One person had a bit of a rocky ride with a product, and he said thanks for the great communication throughout. And it's nice to have such great service, and that is really what I want to achieve with Monster. I do care about the customer service. I do care about magic and the magic community, and I really sort of want to be the local magic shop online. So if you do want to get in touch, if you do want to contact me, if you want to ask me about any products, please do. Just email info@monstermagic.co.uk, and I'll do my best to pass on whatever I happen to know. May not be everything, but I will try and help. Yeah, that was really kind. So it's one of the nice things. It happened to Prop Dog quite a bit as well, when people email in just to say they've had great service, because some people can be very, people are often, it's easier to complain, isn't it, because you need to, but it's very nice to receive some positive feedback, and it makes me feel like it's all worthwhile. So thank you. And now we've got Go Nuts by Matthew Wright. This was a sellout at Blackpool. I don't know how many he took though. Many have had one, who knows? But it is a borrowed ring inside an orange, inside a Kinder Egg, inside a walnut. And in here, I can't really open up. You get a bag, you get the special apparatus that makes it all possible, and you get the gimmicks. So you don't get the orange. It's pretty much the only thing you don't get. But what you also get is Matthew Wright's ring on string routine, which is obviously a great opener to the ring vanishing and reappearing inside an orange, inside a Kinder Egg, inside a walnut. And so to include his ring on string routine is a really, really nice thing. It's a great bit of added value. The ring and string routine is something I know people like Nick Einhorn do it a lot. A lot of workers do it a lot. Ringleader by Gregory Wilson came out with Penguin Magic well over a decade ago, and that has really got me into doing this trick, and I do it quite a lot whenever I'm doing anything with a finger ring, whether it be ring flight or a new ring routine that I'm working on. I tend to do a little bit of ring on string first of all. It's great stuff. It's great magic, and it's fun to learn. So definitely learn his ring on string routine, and then you go into the ring inside an orange, inside a walnut, it's not a Kinder Egg, inside a walnut, which is an impossible location for any borrowed object to be, and it is done with a bit of apparatus. It does take, so it's going to take up a whole pocket. Let's not pretty much, because you've got to carry this bag around, but it works. I've only been practicing with it, so I haven't performed it live. It works. There's a definite knack to it. It does make a little bit of noise, but in the course of a normal environment, I don't think that's a problem at all. It's not a noise where anyone's going to know what's going on anyway. It's not, it doesn't really give too much away. It's just a bit of a noise. You could have just, someone could have just tapped a glass or whatever. It's not even that loud. Not even that loud. I don't know why I mentioned it. And the other thing to be aware of is the Kinder Egg isn't real and the walnut's not real. And I was a bit disappointed with that at first, but that's just me being a magician. I think now, having played with it, the real fact is you have got their ring inside an object that's inside another object that's inside another object. So it's a bit like nest of boxes, but the objects are far more interesting. To me, it doesn't really matter that it's not a real walnut, because the ring's still inside something that's shut. You see, so it really doesn't take anything away. And the more I think about it, the more practical it is, because I don't really. We ever did Nut Dropper. There was a lot of this, it's a messy, time-consuming setup, and this eliminates all of that. That means you probably will perform it a lot more. and you could perform it walk around. I wouldn't perform it stand up walk around. I wouldn't perform it walk around, in a sort of cocktails reception, but I'd perform it around tables for sure. Does require a reset, but not a massive reset by any stretch of the imagination. And I've got tricks that take longer to reset, and also probably take up more space to reset, and more cognitive ability. So this is pretty straightforward. And once you've done it a few times, you'll nail it within a minute. So yeah, well, what can I say about it really? Until I sort of performed it, I'll do a full review. It's really well made. The gimmicks are really well made. It's really well thought out. It isn't hard to do. There's a timing bit, but I suppose you probably it's not really misdirect. No, you just do it on the offbeat. Really, it's good. It is good, and I feel that it is pretty much a snip. Just over 40 quid. Could easily have been a lot more. Could easily have been edging up towards the £70 mark, I think, for what you get, and including his ring on string routine. I think even Ringleader by Gregory Wilson, I think you're almost paying £35 for that. So a wonderful little release by Matthew Wright. If you ever wanted to do a ring to impossible location other than ring flight, obviously, then that is one to definitely consider. It's funny, it grows. That's part of the thing about having anything appear in a nest, isn't it? It's not, what do you think is inside the orange? No, it's a Kinder Egg. What do you think is inside the Kinder Egg? No, it's your walnut. So really good. And then I think finally we've got this little puppy, the 3-card Monty stand by Jackie Wu, which is basically Skin and Monty, I suppose, is probably what you call it. With these stands, and I think I can show you these without giving too much away. The stand does help you do it. The stands do help you do it. Makes it great for parlour and making people think. So it is interesting, isn't it? Because I hadn't really thought about it. The Skinner Monty is a great routine. Certainly, if you've I started doing it because Bill Malone did it on his On the Loose DVDs things, and it's been around for so long. It is a great routine. And this takes it and makes it play bigger. So if you are going to do it on a table, sort of at a function, or a parlour, this is probably worth carrying. This is probably worth it. That would sort of lift it up. It makes it play bigger. He does it on social media, and he's been very successful with it on social media. Part of me is a bit, I don't know, how much is it? Yes, 40 quid. Which is, I don't know, I suppose Skin and Monty's 20 quid, isn't it? 40 quid to have it with the stands. That's probably fine. You can always do Skin and Monty flat on the table with the cards once you've learnt the routine. So maybe that's fine. Yeah, it's quite nice to lift it up off the table, and the stands do help. So there is one of the stands is gimmicked. So yeah, 3 cards Monty. I think you get the cards and you get these stands, and these stands, I don't think they seem to be. I think they're actually yeah, I think they might be injection molded rather than 3D printed. So they are nice. Jackie Wu's done a good job of putting it together for sure. Quite like the minimal styling on the packaging. So yeah, that is 3 cards Monty stand by Jackie Wu. And on that, I think that almost sums up the first Saturday morning show with Monster Magic. One little thing is someone emailed in, John emailed in asking, the Blackpool registration has just opened, and he was asking my opinion on whether or not it is now too expensive to be value for money, which is interesting, because I've never actually bought a ticket. I've only ever been there as a dealer, so I've never been there as a lay person having bought a ticket. But they're a bit over £200 now for the 3 days for the gold ticket. I don't think that's bad. I really don't think that's bad. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money, but it's 3 days. You've got all the lectures, you've got all of the shows, and you can go and meet some people and chat and be part of the magic community. And the magic community gets knocked mainly because of online stuff. I think it's very easy for people. You'd get the wrong impression of how lovely and warm all magicians are if you just stuck to social media. So it's a great chance to be amongst your peers, share ideas, and go and see some great lectures and perhaps meet some of your idols. So I still think I reckon 200 odd quid, 200 plus quid is absolutely fine. Blackpool's not the most expensive place to stay either, which is why it's great that it's at Blackpool. So John, I still think it is perhaps it's not a bargain, but yeah, if you go and see the lectures and you get a few things out of the lectures, it's good value for money. Oh, I forgot. It's Easter, isn't it? This is Good Friday. So Monster Magic release. It just happens to have come out on Good Friday, to be honest, but it is the egg bag egg. Yeah. So, but I've been developing these. I don't know, ever since the dawn of Monster Magic. It's the egg bag egg, and really it was because someone I know, Tom Whitestone, was struggling with getting a decent egg for the egg bag, and so I decided to see if I could do it for him. So this is the egg. It isn't a real egg. It's not made from a real egg. It's not made by a chicken. It's made by a craftsman, not a chicken. So it's not blown egg. It's not as tough as it's not indestructible by any means, but it is pretty tough. So you can drop it, and it's absolutely fine. But you can't stand on it. So it's I won't tell you what it's made from, but it's not made from an egg, and it's made to look as close to an egg as possible, and so that people will see it. Now I know Steve Price bought one of these from me. Steve Price is a great comedy magician. He's very good stage magician. He does the egg bag. He actually sprays his white. So there's something in the strength, even if you don't want the brown version. He just painted his white because it pops out better on stage, I guess. So they're not indestructible, and that's because you don't want them to be too heavy. So I should have weighed this. It doesn't weigh very much at all. A little bit more than the blown egg, but not as much as one that perhaps you've sort of made indestructible and weighs 100 grams, and you've got to try and lift it up. So that's it. So that's the egg bag egg. They're not on the website yet. I'll be putting them on the website later today, and I think they're going to be about $12.99. They do all vary a bit because they're made by craftsmen, not chickens. They do vary a little bit. Actually, all the chicken ones vary, don't they? So they might, size-wise, there's not much in it. Maybe some bit, they're not always exactly the same shape, and they're not always exactly the same colour because there's artistic endeavour as to making them look like an egg. So there you go. That's the egg bag egg. Tom Whitestone and Steve Price been very happy with theirs. So I think for me, I was happy to release them based on that. I'm working on an egg bag routine, but it's getting far complicated. So they are professional performers, and they use my egg for their egg bag, which I'm very proud of. So there you go, the egg bag egg, Monster Magic on Easter, Good Friday. Yes. Lovely. Well, I think that just about rounds it up. I'm going to finish my cup of coffee, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. And don't forget to subscribe. There's a little subscribe button down there. It gives me a little warm glow when you do subscribe, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So just click that little button down there. Give yourself a little pat on the back for doing it. So it's just that little button down there. So I can see that someone hasn't done it. Click the button. Come on. I'm going to sit here until you click it. No one's going anywhere until you click the subscribe. Come on, it's Good Friday. It's good. It's Easter weekend. Come on. Come on. Yay! Another subscriber. So thank you very much. And I hope you all have a lovely weekend.